Here are the latest updates in Bachelor Nation. Bachelor producers are answering the question of if they would ever cast a gay lead and make a Golden Paradise spinoff. Executive producers Jason Ehrlich says, quote, "We'd love to do that eventually. I mean, how fun would it be to see single men and women in their 60s and 70s on the beach or in the bachelor pad or somewhere hanging out and falling in love? We'd love to do that and hope we get the opportunity," end quote. Bennett Graebner says there have been a number of conversations with the network and the studio. However, they still have a lot of details to iron out. In regards to featuring LGBTQ+ community, Jason says, quote, "We hope to get the opportunity to do that. The most wonderful thing is that love is universal and so is the frustration of not finding love. We'd love the opportunity to tell all kinds of people's stories," end quote. Bennett adds, quote, "During my tenure on the show, the two spin-offs that have been pitched to be the most frequently are a Bachelor for older people and a gay bachelor. We checked one of those boxes. We're talking about checking out the other box," end quote. Now, speaking of The Bachelor ABC Instagram posted a new video of Joey touring and visiting the White House. In the video, he is admiring photos on the wall and comes across a picture of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The audio says that is not Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Joey looks at the framed picture of Ruth and says, "I'm so sorry." He says it was a bad time and knew that was not her photo. Ruth just came to his head. He won't live that down and now recognizes that Ruth is a legend and has done a lot for women's rights. Joey says this because in an interview, he was getting quizzed on names. A picture of Gypsy Rose Blanchard popped up and he paused and guessed that it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He caught himself in the mistake and it was a hilarious moment. Glad Joey got it straightened out once and for all. Now, Nick Viall is the latest critic of Joey. He said on his Viall Files podcast that he believes Joey is taking the easy way out. Nick said, quote, "No one's been sent home outside of a rose ceremony. There's been no traumatic exit. Joey hasn't sent anyone home outside of the format of the show. Everyone else has gone home on a rose ceremony," end quote. Nick said there's been no interaction where Joey said a contestant was not a match for him. Nick thinks it would be more authentic if Joey took this approach. Nick added, quote, "To me, that's just Joey, the people pleaser, wanting to be kind. It comes across as super nice. It very much does, but it's less authentic. It's much easier to not give someone a rose than to actually say, hey, listen, I just don't think this is it. Can I walk you out?" There's just no way he's having all these one-on-ones and realizing with all these women that there's a strong connection. And to me, when a bachelor or bachelorette doesn't send anyone home outside of the format of a show, it makes your actual connection seem a little less authentic, end quote. I understand what Nick is saying here, but every bachelor's journey is different. And lastly, bachelor contestant Lexi is opening up about her journey with endometriosis. She said on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, quote, "It was 10 years of me being in pain and not knowing what was going on with my body. Things got a lot worse in the back half of living in San Francisco and when I moved to New York. I started going to so many different doctors and I was being diagnosed with things I didn't even have. I was being diagnosed with autoimmune disorders and taking medications for them, and I didn't have those. It takes women on average 10 years to get a diagnosis for endo. That was my timeline, and it's so sad to hear that. A lot of the doctors will turn you away or turn you to a psychiatrist to make you believe that your pain is in your head. Endo has to be diagnosed surgically, so that adds another layer of complexity to get a diagnosis," end quote. Lexi says it has been an uphill battle for her where she has good and bad weeks. She's at the point where her doctors want her to have a second surgery. She is 30, so they want her to have the surgeries during a time when she is close to conceiving. She added, quote, "They don't want you to have too many surgeries either because they cause a lot of scar tissue. Right now, I feel like I'm being pushed into a corner of having to power through the pain and make the most of it, but it's challenging," end quote. Lexi has been a front runner in this season of The Bachelor. Her and Joey's connection has been getting deeper and deeper. Now, don't forget The Bachelor airs on Mondays on ABC, and you can also stream on Hulu. All right, well, that's all I have to share with you guys today. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about these recent Bachelor Nation headlines. Make sure to share it down in the comments below. Don't forget to please like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest news here at Shared. I'm your host, Hiba Berry, and thanks so much for watching.